Hi guys, Demonic Angel. Today, before I really get back into online schooling, so the video paces might slow up just a little bit, but they're still going to be there. I, of course, have to turn my attention to mundane matters as well. And even though it's a really cool class about fairy tales for like a humanities requirement, it's still a lot of writing, which I enjoy. It just requires that aspect of time and effort, but writing is mostly about, time being time consuming. So that was just a heads up. But today we're going to talk about what are some of the similarities between Luciferianism and Satanism. And I'm going to this is, as you guys know, that Satanism, Luciferianism is probably one of my favorite topics that I'm just really drawn to. So I'm sure that I'll go into all the different aspects of them anyway. But I thought, well, what is similar? Because I've really come to understand myself as identify as a Luciferian more than a Satanist, let's say. Because like when I was younger, I just thought that I would be more of like a theistic Satanist, and I didn't really know about this. And then of course I did stumble on the works of Michael Ford, and he's a really wonderful. Him and Jeremy Crow, they're really your go-to information for Luciferianism. If you're curious, these guys will explain this to you definitely. But so now it's my turn to try. So Satan is like the lower aspect of what you would think of as Lucifer. This is carnal pleasure, carnal desires, and also just bestial problems, fighting among humans and these kinds of things. The beast incarnate. And that is what that is. So, all the works of Anton LaVey are really just expanding on the ideas of man as a beast, and that there really isn't an afterlife. But of course, LaVey was interested in the occult and practicing ritual magic. And for me, this is where it's like, it's not about what we believe, but the way we live our lives. I don't really believe things. I just practice magic. It's just the way that I live my life. So the rest is like, it's not even really, it's just kind of ways to identify ourselves. Because there's so much that goes into that. And I personally would say that there probably is a variety of different things to happen to consciousness as it decomposes, dissolves back into the astral plane. There's a variety of scenarios that happen. So, I really, anyway. So that's just this recognition of that. And theistic Satanism is like, well, we're going to focus on, the pursuing carnal pleasures, through covens and initiating people. You're going to just enjoy your life that way. Look at it that way, of revering Satan as the pleasures of the flesh. Not just talking about sex, but about all the different sins and enjoying them, dropping the guilt. But for me, it's a lot, and for Luciferianism, it is a little bit more than that, and it's Satan as Satan, Lucifer. Lucifer is the spiritual aspect of Satan. It's not just about, pursuing carnal pleasures, but a transcendence and spirituality by questioning things. Because if we think about Satan as the adversary, right? Well, Satan, intellectually, that means that you're questioning dogma, questioning things. So it's not, and that also includes the way that you live your life. The way, so by just indulging, really, that doesn't really mean anything. But this rebellion against dogma, okay, is intellectual. This is the form of Satan that is questioning not just religion, everything, the way you live your life, the way you were programmed to be. Look at it, question it. I preach this because it is Luciferianism. And so by doing that, you transcend this mundane reality. And it's not about, are you going to pursue carnal pleasures or are you not? To or not to, right? You focus on here and now. And you'll reach a transcendence that you get from truly questioning things. That's what that is. So this one's more about what's the similarities. Okay, so what they, so that might sound, because I'm like not a professional, whatever. It's just easier to break it down that way. Satan is the beast form, the carnal form, and that is Lucifer is spiritual transcendence. These are both the same. These are the same entity. They're two sides. They're the polarity of the same being. Okay, so because of course, there's just not. It's not just one thing, right? So it's all of that. But with Satanism and Luciferianism, we have a sort of intersection where the goal is apotheosis in many ways, where you're just trying to become your own best version of God. And that offends people and stuff, but what that really means is that you're crafting your reality through magic, through rituals, through whatever means, really. Trickery, deception, mindfulness. We use negative words, positive words, but they're still working on whatever you're using to become your own God. And another thing I find in common is that with Satan and Luciferianism, there is a set of ethics that you do not owe anybody who wrongs you anything. You just don't. And the best thing is to probably not be in their space. Unless you have something to work out, that's fine. Then you're going to decide that and do so. But you don't owe bad people bad things. You don't be codependent. You don't enable forever. Okay? You realize that that's what it is and now you're going to move on. But the other thing is that when people who haven't done you wrong, you leave them alone. You especially leave the vulnerable, the elderly, children, anybody like that. You don't really do spell workings. You just morally, ethically, you leave people who don't have anything to do with you alone. That's it. Because this is all about your subjectiveness anyway. And you don't need, to include people who really, the best way to let somebody else evolve is to let them go their own path. And if they want to be a part of your life, then that's for them to decide. But not for you to jump in and force down, somebody's kind of throat in this sense. So you leave, that's a commonality. there's a supportiveness really of individuality, enjoyment, freedom, flexibility, creativity, promotion of being different, being weird. Whether you're Satanist or Luciferian, then you really identify as being outside of society's norms, and that, we're alone together, right, in this kind of group. So we support these things. Of course, we support both, gay rights, unusual relationships, everything from polyamory to people who are in relationships with spirits of the deceased and gods and other demons. We support all of that. But the big thing is the rejection of dogma. So even if you're going to go a carnal way and you're really maybe an edgy atheist, but you still practice ritual magic for a higher sort of transcendence to master your consciousness, then, or you're a Luciferian and you're doing this because you really think that you're worshiping the one true God, or I should say working with, because that is a rejection of dogma. Saying that this is right or wrong and it's just this simple, neither one of these things apply to any of us. This is more than that. It's questioning everything. We question everything. That should just be that's really the common bridge. Not just religion, but at the same time, because we agree that we should leave other people alone that really don't have anything to do with our lives, we accept these, the Abrahamic religions, and we leave them alone. There's no talking to those people anyway. You just leave them alone. Live their lives, and you can accept that maybe that's that road they're going to go down because they're too afraid to go off the beaten path. So that's kind of this, but we are antagonistic towards religion. I think that whenever we get a chance, if you could gracefully get people to look at it, do it. Whether it's, and like I was even seeing somebody talk about this the other day, because if somebody, let's say somebody likes you, and then they find out you're a Satanist, a cultist, a Luciferian, and then they're like, I liked you until I found this out about you. Well, guess what? You have accomplished your goal because you made them question something. Oh, I thought that these people suck, that they're evil, that that's all there is to them. But that's not, and so by inserting questions, by getting somebody to just like you as a friend, you as a person, now they have to think, hey, is this are these people really as fucked up as I've heard? Is that all there is to it? And then they have to sit and question things, and that's the ultimate goal. It's not, we're not deciding what other people think, but I think that Satanism and Luciferianism, we're always trying to sneak in ways to get people to question things. It doesn't mean it's going to work and that kind of thing, but it is trying to insert questions in there, trying to get you to ponder something, And we do view, obviously, Satan and Lucifer in a different manner. Because to them, this is evil. For us, this is an attraction to the adversary, to the difference, and that's really what this is. So, I hope that kind of helps. Main thing that you could take from this video would be Satan is the carnal, physical form. Lucifer is the spiritual, questioning, intellectual form, and they're the same being. These are their two polarities. I'll see you guys later.